Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Quicken Guide. As we all know, Quicken 2017 is out, and I have a copy here, and it is fully operational. I wanted to make a tutorial video on how to get started with Quicken and show you some tips and tricks as well. Most of the things I'm going to show you today, it will work with Quicken 2016, 2015, and 2014 as well. There are some differences between the softwares, but the things I will show you today, they work pretty much the same. We're going to add some accounts today and go through some issues that you may run through while trying to get your Quicken account set up. I want to make sure that each of you can use your software seamlessly and go from there. As you can see on our screen, we are at the screen that you'll come to after installing the Quicken 2017 software. And as you can see, you have two options here. You have the option where you can sign in with your existing Intuit ID, or you can create a brand new account. Those customers that have been using Quicken, you should already have an Intuit ID. In most cases, your Intuit ID is your email address. And those of you that's brand new to Quicken, you will have to create the button, click the button, that says create account. Some of you out there, you may have changed your email address, or you want to use an email address, and you can do that one of two ways. You can change the email address within the Quicken software, or you can simply create a new account. Now, we'll say this: if you choose to create a new account and you're already a Quicken customer, changing your email address or creating a new Intuit ID account, that does not affect your data in any shape, form, or fashion. That is just simply how Quicken keep your data secure, but the data is not attached to the Intuit ID. I know a lot of people that worry about, if I change my email address, if I have to create a new account, will that affect my data? No, it will not. Your data is not attached to the Intuit ID, and you can change it as often as you would like to. Or if you get a new email address, you can change it. You can create a brand new Intuit ID account, so on and so forth. So we're going to take a look at both of those. The first thing we will do, we'll take a look at creating a new Intuit account. I am not going to go through the whole process, but I do want you to see it and see how the process works. So first thing we will do, we're going to click on create account. Once we click on create account, first thing you're asked for is your email address. I think I will use a.white. And, okay, let's change that at Outlook. Okay. It asks for your, okay, it says it's already taken. Let's do another one. ADV at mediaoes.com. All right, there we go. It asks for your mobile phone number as well, and you can put your mobile device phone number in here. I recommend this because if you happen to get locked out of your Intuit ID account and you cannot access your Quicken file, they will need to send you a code to verify that you are the one that is in fact trying to access the Quicken account. So I suggest using your mobile device number. All right. Put your mobile device in, and now the next thing is you have to put in the password. Now, Intuit ID passwords are very sensitive, and it requires certain characteristics in the password, and sometimes people don't put everything in like they should, but you have to make sure that your Intuit ID password has an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a number, and a special character. Once again, your Intuit ID password, it must have an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a number, and a special character. Then it's going to ask you to confirm the password. And once you got your second password in and it's confirmed, you need to make sure that when you type the first password in, make sure in the green it says your password is strong. If you do not see your password is strong, it's going to give you what you left off on the list. Let's see. I'm going to take some of that out. See right here, I went back and I took some of the characters out. And I may think I have the correct password in, but I don't see your password is strong. So I have to look below that password box to make sure that all the qualifications are met. And I have one in red. It says use 8 or more characters. So we can go back and make sure that's right. And now it says your password is strong. Also, when your confirm field, if you take some of that out, it's going to say confirm password field does not match the password field above. So we need to make sure quick. And the reason I'm putting so much emphasis on the password field is because a lot of people have a lot of difficulty with Intuit ID passwords. They have a lot of difficulty. So we have to make sure that we create a password, number one, that we can remember, and number two, that meets all of the qualifications to make sure you have a good, strong password. All right. After that is done, you will simply select create account. Once you create account, it's going to take you to a registration page, which I would do on the next step here. Okay. For those of you that already have a Intuit ID account, what will happen is that, of course, on the previous page, you will see where it said sign in and had your space there for your email address or your Intuit ID and your password as well. But since we're here at this page, we're going to go and click on sign in. And it takes us back to the original page, of course. And this is my email address. Then ask for your password. And then you will click on sign in. Now, this is the other area a lot of people have issues at, which Quicken is very serious about security. So what happens if you're signing in for the first time, even after you install the software, if you're signing in on a brand new computer, or if you have the same computer and you're signing in from a different location, you're out of town or something to that effect, Quicken can detect if there is abnormal activity or new activity. So they are going to ask you, they're going to send you a 6-digit code. Getting that 6-digit code, it is required. Even in the software, if you choose to download transactions from your bank, if you haven't downloaded for a month, if you haven't downloaded for a week, randomly, the software will ask you to verify the information, and it is going to send you a 6-digit code. A lot of customers, they try to get around that. They don't like that that particular thing to do. They don't like getting the code because it's too many steps. And I understand that could be frustrating, but the software requires it, and there is no workaround for this. This is a security measure to keep your data and your financial information safe that is on your computer. So if somebody steals your ID, somebody steals your password or something like that, and they're trying to access your Quicken, or somebody could come to your house, or whatever the case may be, if somebody's trying to access your Quicken and see what you got in there, is very well a 6-digit code may come to your phone, and they cannot access your Quicken, or you cannot access your Quicken until you have received the 6-digit code and keyed that code in. So here we see I have two options here. It says, for your protection, Quicken is serious about protection. We'll send you a code to verify your info. This helps keep your account safe. Once again, Quicken is concerned about your protection of your data. So since I supplied my, when I set up this particular profile, since I supplied my, my cell phone number, I can get a code text to my cell phone, or I can get a code emailed to me, but I have to go through this step. So I want my code sent to my cell phone to get a text, and I click on continue. And once I click continue, I will get my phone and look and see when my code is coming. Normally, it doesn't take a long time for the code to come. It comes immediately. And in some cases, if a lot of people are trying to sign on, it may take a few minutes for it to come, okay? So I got my code here and we'll enter that in. Each time it's a different code. You cannot reuse the code. Now, I will say this. Some people, they get impatient waiting for the code if the codes are coming through slowly. What you don't want to do is get stuck in a loop. And this loop is if you feel like the code did not come fast enough, you click on didn't receive a code. Once you click on that, it may take another 5 minutes for the code to come. And when the code comes, you cannot use the previous code. Once a brand new code is sent, the previous code, it will expire. And 9 times out of 10, the codes are going to come in the order that that you requested the code. So sometimes you just may need to be a little patient in getting the code if the system is taking a long time to send it, because you may get into a loop of getting a message, your code has expired. Your code has expired. For example, I can just key something in randomly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keyed in 6 number 5s. I click on continue. And it says the confirmation code you enter is expired or is incorrect. So be patient and wait on the code. If you haven't received the code, worst case scenario, in 15 minutes, then go ahead and request a code. But don't keep requesting code after code after code, because you'll be in an endless cycle trying to get in your program. So let's key in our code today. Key the code in. Click on continue. And it's taking a second. Okay, now you get to a page. It says sync to mobile. Those of you that desire to use the mobile app, please make sure you choose use mobile. Those of you that don't want to use the mobile app, choose don't use mobile. You'll click there and you will click on next. And we'll move it kind of slowly here today. Now, it says registration. It is successful. And now I'm ready to add account. So click on add account here. All right, so this is my first time using Quicken. It's going to take me straight to this page here. And we're going to show you how to add additional accounts as well. So what you would do, depending upon the kind of account that you want to add to Quicken, you will select that account here. Checking, credit card, savings, cash, brokerage, 401k, IRA, 529, and so have you. And of course, you have your. I'm using the rental property manager software. Some of you may be using Quicken Starter Edition or Quicken Deluxe, or even with Premier and Home and Business. All of these are not available on all versions of the software, but it is available on the it is available on the rental property manager, and you'll see different functions that you have here. So we're going to add a checking account today. Click on checking. Then if your bank is not listed here on the list, type in the name of your bank. I'm going to use First US Bank today. When you find the name of your bank, go ahead and select it. Once it's selected, you can put in your username and your password. Now, with some banks, before putting a username and password, with some banks, they use what's called a direct connect connection. The connection that is used most of the time is what's called express web connection. Some banks by default, like my bank, when I go ahead and key in my username and my password, it is going to go ahead and set me up for the direct connect connection, because that is the only kind of connection that my bank supplies. Or some banks supply the express web connect, which sometimes they charge a fee for. Some banks don't, but you have to check with your bank. And then they offer the express web connect as well. So if you have a bank and they have issued you a special set of direct connect credentials, you would come down and click on advanced setup. Once you clicked on advanced setup, you'll see the name of your bank appear here. Or if you do not want to download from the bank, you'll click I want to enter my transactions manually. So then you'll click on next, and here it will give you the options of how to use your direct connect connection, which when you click on next, You'll put in your Direct Connect username and your Direct Connect Intuit, your Direct Connect password as well. Now, some banks allow you to use the same username and password that is at the website, and most banks don't. So you may want to check with them on that. Normally, to figure out what kind of connection you have per se, or if you're confused about that, just start on the very first step, which we are about to go through, and put in the username and password that you will use at your bank. So let's click on back. Now, back to simple setup. So what happens also, you have customers that do not want to download transactions from the bank at all. They do not want to connect Quicken to their bank and allow Quicken to pull the transactions into the software. For those customers that want to enter each transaction manually in their Quicken program, what you would do is come down and click on Advanced Setup. Once you click there, the first one, it gives you the option to select your connection method, which if you desire to do that, you need to make sure that the top one is selected. But for those customers that want to enter transactions strictly manually and not connect to the bank, you would choose, I want to enter my transactions manually, and then you'll click on Next. Once you click on Next, you can create a custom name for that checking account. And since I'm using Rental Property Manager, I can choose if it's personal transactions, business transactions, or rental property transactions. Once I choose my personal transactions, in this case, I will click on Next. Once I click on Next, you need to have a bank statement available if you're interested in keeping everything in sync and in line with your bank statement. You need to make sure of the statement, you have the statement ending date, and then you have the statement ending balance as well. Then you will click on Next. And once you click on Next, it's going to say Finish, and then you can go into the Quicken program and start entering your transactions, which we will go through in just a few moments. So since I'm connecting to my bank today, I'm going to click on back. I'm going back to my simple setup, and now I'm at the very first screen from where we clicked on add account. So now I'm going to put in my username and my password. All right. For some of you, you may want to save your password. So every time you do an update from the bank, you don't have to key it in. And if that's the case, click on Save Password and then click on Connect. It's looking for my account at First US Bank. So now I have an error. Quicken is having trouble connecting to First US Bank. Give it another shot and see if it works. So I'm going to make sure that stays selected. I've downloaded this morning already from my other computer, and I know that it should be working. Okay. Let's click on Start over here. Checking First US. Here we go here. Connect. All right, here we go. So now I got a successful connection, and here I have a list of my accounts. Of course, all these accounts are checking. Here's my personal account. I have a business account and another business account. So now, if there is an account that you do not want in Quicken, that you do not want to keep up with those transactions, everything here says add. I mean, it's going to be added to Quicken. But if you do not want those transactions in Quicken, just click on the arrow here and you will click on ignore. For this example, I'm going to ignore these last two business accounts here. Click here, then click on ignore. Click here and click on ignore. When I click on ignore, those accounts will not be brought into Quicken. Only the account that says add will be brought into Quicken. Then I click on next. It's adding my accounts here. All right. So once it is successful, you'll see a green check mark on the left hand side that says Aubrey personal account. It has been added, of course. And then over here, if I want to sync this to my mobile device where I can view my transactions through the Quicken mobile app, I'll put a check mark there. But since I'm not using Quicken mobile, I'm not putting the check mark. So then I select finish. All right. So now it takes me to my register. And of course, a lot of people, they get concerned when they see their very first account. See right here, it has a red flag. There's a red flag this year. That doesn't mean that something is wrong. When you see a red flag anytime, if you have, that means that you have brand new transactions. Personally, for me, when I get transactions in, I want to review those transactions before they go into my register. Now, you can have the option for those transactions to automatically go into the register without you reviewing those transactions first, and you can review them straight from the register. So we're going to click here, and of course, this upper half up here is my register. And there is nothing there, but I see I have a red flag. And since I have a red flag, that means that I do in fact have brand new transactions in the Quicken program. So here at the bottom, I see down here at the bottom of the screen, it says downloaded transactions 44. Of course, I brought it down, collapsed it. So now I'm going to expand it. And here are all of my transactions here. So now right here, you have the status. All these transactions are brand new since I just brought the transactions in. Sometimes if you key a transaction in manually here at the top, then it's going to say match. It'll say match right here. Now, on the other hand, sometimes you may have manually keyed in a transaction, which is okay. And the same transaction may have downloaded here at the bottom, but it says new and not match. That means that you may have a little issue with bringing transactions in. But typically, you can just come over, select that transaction. If it's a duplicate, click on edit, and then you can delete that transaction, or you can manually match that transaction. If it says new over here, it says new right here, and the transaction you have entered is manual up here as well. Okay, so since all these transactions are brand new and there are not going to be any issues, I will click on accept all. Once I accept all, my transactions will enter into my register. All right, and now everything is in here. And I look down here for my online balance. It's $23.55. And then on my other side over here, I have my ending balance is $23.15. Now, what makes the difference in your online balance and your ending balance is right here where it says online balance. This is how much money you actually have that is available at the bank. Now, each bank, they do it a little differently sometimes. But this is how much money you actually have that's available at the bank. Over here where it says ending balance, this is when you may have entered a transaction manually that you desire to keep up with, and the transaction has not actually downloaded from the bank as of yet. So what will happen, just for example, I will I'm going to put in a manual transaction. So that's there. And then let's see, let's say McDonald's. So I went to McDonald's. That's in my memorized payee list. And of course, all that information is going to come up. And then my payment, we're going to say it was $6.98. Got that there. There's my amount. And then I can hit enter or click on save. When I click on save, a couple of things I noticed. My online balance stays the same, but my ending balance, it changed. The reason the ending balance changed is because I have a projected balance of $16.57 because I manually keyed in a transaction for $6.98. Now, one thing that you'll notice as well is over here on the left-hand side of the register, this is a status column, and this transaction, it says uncleared. Whenever you see this orange pencil and it says uncleared, that means a transaction was entered manually. Now, what happens if especially what happens is that once that transaction downloads from the bank, it will come here under downloaded transactions. It will say McDonald's, and they have the amount, and it may say new or it may say match. If it says match, all I have to do is I click on accept that particular transaction. It's going to match it to the uncleared transaction. Okay. If down here at the bottom where it says downloaded transactions, if down here, if it just says new, you will have to come over to the left-hand side and then select match manually. But Quicken does a pretty good job about matching transactions that come in that's already entered in your register if you entered a manual transaction, okay? All right. So if you enter transactions manually, you don't download from the bank. Of course, you'll see this a whole lot on all the transactions. So, but once you check your bank and that transaction has actually cleared the bank, you'll come over and you will find your let's add some columns here because this column is actually not here. If you need to add a column, let's do this. So I'm looking for my column that says cleared, CLR. And of course, I got my date, got my check number, my payee, my memo, my category, my tag, my attachment. If I'm attaching a receipt, then I have a payment, how much I paid. If I made a deposit, my deposit is here. Then I have my amount, then I have my balance, but I don't have my cleared column. And I like to make sure that I keep up with everything that is cleared. So the second, you have a gear that's up here, which is an actions gear. Then you have a gear here, which will customize the columns you have. So since I don't have a cleared column, I'm going to click here, and then I will go down my list. Oh, it says I do have my cleared column selected. So let's see where that column is. Let's see. So the column should say CLR. Let's just remove it real quick, and let's put it back. Okay. Okay, I guess I missed it. All right, because it's actually not labeled. Most of the time, this column would be labeled CLR. Let's expand it, and it did. See, my column was little, and my cleared went away. But over here, it said my cleared column was there. So to check it, I just removed it, and I saw my register move. Then I saw my little C's for cleared. Then my cleared column on. So since my name is not there, I will expand that so I can see my CLR. All right. At any time you need to add a column, take some columns away. It's too much for you. There's a lot of clutter. You have the option to remove some of those columns, okay? All you have to do is click on the second gear here, which says register columns. You'll click there, and here's a whole list of things that you can add or take away. You can add or take away, okay? And you can use those at your discretion. And right here, if you have just messed things up and you need to start from scratch on the columns that's in the register, all you have to do is click here and reset to default. Once you finish with your columns, then click on done. Now back to business. So the money that came through the bank from a McDonald's for $6.98. So in my cleared column, I will click there and I will click on cleared. Once I click on cleared, I will click save. Once I click save, as you can notice back on the left-hand side, the uncleared statement status has gone away. Great. So then, especially if you, when you reconcile, you're going to use that clear column as well. And of course, I'm old-fashioned. I use a physical bank statement to reconcile my transactions. So what I would do, I go down. You can go down right here and click on reconcile. Once you reconcile, you can click save. All right. So since I'm not actually reconciling this transaction, I'm going to go back and I'm going to clear it again like that, like so. All right. So you can reconcile by coming to your column, getting the statement, and reconciling each statement, each transaction that particular way. Now we're going to delete this dummy transaction. Let's see. Delete. And yes. All right. So next thing we want to do, I'm going to show you the reconcile screen. I'm not going to reconcile this account today, but I do want to get you to the point where you can reconcile. All you have to do is make sure you clicked on that particular account. Once that account is selected, then you'll click on your action gear. Remember, there's a gear that's right here, which is your register columns, but above here is your actions gear. You'll click that, and then you'll come down to reconcile. Once you reconcile, you'll get a couple of screens with the statement ending date, your prior balance, and your ending balance, and then you'll click OK. Then it's going to take you to the reconcile screen. In another segment, I'll deal more with reconciliation. A lot of people run into a whole lot of issues when reconciling their account. Some people, they reconcile doing what? Using their online balance, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to use that, click there, and you can always use online balance for this account. Don't ask me again. Or then you can auto reconcile downloaded transactions. Some people prefer to choose auto reconcile downloaded transactions because once that transaction has cleared the bank, has posted to the account, that transaction is completely gone, and Quicken will automatically reconcile that particular transaction every time. Quicken will automatically reconcile that transaction. So you click on that, then you click OK. And then, of course, all your transactions will be reconciled. And then the next time you download your transactions, they'll already be reconciled if you desire to do it that way. But, of course, like I said, I'm kind of old-fashioned, so I reconcile a little bit differently. But there are different choices that people can use to reconcile their accounts, okay? So, actually, well, I guess, okay, no, we don't want to get into reconciliation today. That's a horse of a different color, and that will require a whole segment. So we're going to go and cancel out of that. All right. The next thing we want to talk about is adding an additional account. In Quicken, in the previous versions of Quicken, at the bottom on the left, it used to have a button that says Add Account. You can add a new account different ways. And of course, in Quicken 2017, there's not an Add Account icon, a button on the lower left-hand corner, but instead it's at the top, and it's a plus sign. I wish that the words were still spelled out because some people spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to add a new account in Quicken 2017. All you would do, you'll come up and you click on the plus sign. Once you click on the plus sign, then you'll come back and select the kind of account you want to use, checking, credit card, what have you like that. Maybe a brokerage account. You go there. Now, it's very important that you select the right kind of account. It may be a 401k or 403b. You will click there, and then you'll click on back, so on and so forth, okay? So the other way that you can add a new account is that you go and click on Tools. Then you'll come down and you'll click on Add Account. And it takes you to the same screen. There are different ways to get things done. It just depends upon what you're most comfortable with, okay? So let's go and click on cancel on that since we're not going to officially add a new account. So now this particular point, just basic daily functions is to, if you're downloading transactions from the bank, it is how do I download my transactions? There are several different ways to download transactions. Now, these steps are very, very important because a couple of these steps, they serve different it serves a different purpose depending upon if you're having an issue or not. All right. So if I'm going to typically, if I'm going to update my account and download brand new transactions for the day, you have what's called a one-step update icon, and you will click here on the one-step update icon. I click there. And since I did not use a password vault or save my password, every time I come click on my one-step update icon, I'm going to have to put that password in. So you may have several accounts here. That's fine. It's no problem. The accounts that you want to update, you have to make sure that there is a check mark by it. If there's no check mark, it's not going to let you update. So make sure that you have a check mark about all of the accounts that you are going to use, that you need to download brand new transactions for. Then you can click here and put your password in. Once that password is in, you'll notice popped up here, it says save. Save, and there's a check mark box. Let's click here. Let's delete. When that password is not there, it doesn't give you the option to save it. But when you key that password in, save comes up. It pops up on the screen right here. So I want to go ahead and save my password. So every time I come back to update, I won't have to put that password in. Okay, now what happens is that when you click on Save Password, it stores the password in what's called a password vault. And that password vault, it has a password. But if you have 10 bank accounts here, it's kind of painstaking to go through and key in 10 different passwords or something to that effect, especially if you have accounts at different financial institutions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save my password. And then I'm going to click on Update Now. Once I click on Update Now, it's going to start connecting to my bank. Let's update my new transactions. And since I just added this account, no transactions will come in. So now I get what's called a one-step update summary. If everything worked out perfectly, you're going to get something that says one-step update complete, and you will see green. If you have some accounts that malfunctioned or didn't download, or the password was keyed in incorrectly or something like that, where it's green right here, it will be red. If you have 10 accounts at one bank right here, this will be, if everything worked out, it'll be green, and the name of the bank, and they have how many accounts were updated, or it will have how many accounts was affected by the error. All right, now let me say this right here. This is just something to bring to your attention. You can see over here the date and the time I did the download is kind of grayed out. If this is red right here, that means there's an error. 9 times out of 10 is going to give you an error code as well. Sometimes it may not give you an error code. Now, a lot of people have a hard time finding the error code, but let me show you where the error code is. The error code will be located right next to the name of the bank in brackets, and it will be grayed out just like it is on this side. I wish the error codes showed in red. I wish the error codes showed in black or bolder color so you could see what the code is, because when I help a lot of people, they can't see the error code, and sometimes I help people on the phone. I'm trying to get them to give me the error code so I could define what the problem is. Now, sometimes the code is not there. There's a horse of a different color, but most of the time the error code will be located right here by the bank's name, or sometimes it may say one account affected, then the error code will be located right here. So we don't have any errors today, which is all good. All right, so now we're going to click on close. Now, the next way you can update, if you're not choosing your one-step update right here, you can select here, and then you can use this update accounts icon right here. The update accounts is in several areas, which works out fine. Each has a different function. So I click on this right here, then I will click here. And then since I have my password in my password vault, I select the save password. I don't have to keep my password in again. All I have to do is do what? Click on update now. But I just updated. I don't need to update anymore. Click on cancel. Now there's another way you can update as well. Some people like going through the menus at the top, and that's fine. There's no problem with that. So we'll click on tools, and then we'll click on, come down and click on one-step update. Once you click there, it's going to take you back to the one-step update settings, just like it did on the last two. And then you click on update now. Then cancel that. Some people, they like to update from the bottom of the screen. I know it's a lot of places, but wherever you go in the program, is give you the option to update your transactions. So right here, where in the downloaded transactions sections, it says update transactions. You can click there, and then it's going to let you update as well. All right, now, sometimes when you update your account from the bank, you know you should have new transactions, but you updated and there were no brand new transactions. And some people flip out over that because they think something is urgently wrong. Sometimes it may be something wrong, but most of the time it's really not a whole lot that's wrong. All right, so what happens is when you finish updating, Your regular update, no matter which way you chose to update, you could have clicked here to update accounts, click here to do the one-step update. You could have gone to tools and then clicked on one-step update, or you could have come down here to the bottom and you could have chose update transactions right there. But when your one-step update summary comes up, it says one account updated, 0 new transactions, but you know that you have new transactions. So what happens, of course, people, they immediately try to call the bank to see what's going on, or they try to call the Quicken tech support line to see, what's wrong with the software. And sometimes, most of the time, there's really not anything wrong with the software. And I really hate to say it like this, and I really try to be as nice as I can. And this is one of the reasons I make these videos, is sometimes a lot of issues that customers of Quicken have, it is because of user error. A lot of times, something is not happening just right, and people, they get upset all up in the air. But most of the time, that if something is happening in the program, it is because of user error. There's nothing wrong with it. You just have to learn the software just a little better. And then sometimes there are issues on the bank's end to where the connection is not going through just right, or then it didn't pick up the transactions or something like that. And then sometimes there are issues within the software, within the program. And then sometimes a customer may be dealing with a damaged or corrupt file. But if you come up here and everything is green, it says one account updated, everything was successful, and then it says 0 new transactions, but transactions should be there. You need to update that account again because apparently something is going on with the connection at the bank. Now, sometimes you may go ahead and call the bank, but banks really may not know that there's an issue right off, and then sometimes it's not an issue. But before you make a decision to call Quicken, or before you make a decision to call the bank, you need to update those accounts again in a different way. So you may have had 10 accounts, 5 accounts, 3 accounts that said the update was successful and there were no new transactions. You will need to update those accounts one at a time this particular way. On your account list, select the account. Then you need to come over to the right-hand side of the screen and click on the Actions gear. And then select Update Now here. This is doing a force update. Then you click on, of course, my password is already my password vault. Then you click on Update Now. And then it's going to go through a regular update. And once you do that, transactions should download for you. If the transactions do not download for you, that's okay. Do not call the bank yet, and do not call Quicken yet. Go ahead. You're going to click on Close and close your Quicken program out. Click the X and close it. Then reopen your Quicken program. Trust me, it works. Once you reopen your Quicken program, make sure the account that transactions did not download for, but it said it was successful. You click on the account right here. Then you come back over. You click here. And then you click on Update Now again from the gear icon, and which is going to do a force update for you. And 9 times out of 10, that will fix the issue. If it doesn't, there's some other steps that you need to take before you call Quicken or before you call your bank. But if you want to go ahead and call Quicken in the bank, that's fine. That's no problem at all. In another segment, I'll talk about fixing downloaded transaction issues. Okay. All right. Just going to go through a couple more things here. Then we're going to end the session on today. Just want you to get a good feel for the program. So let's look at our accounts that's listed over here. Every once in a while, you may not see your accounts listed here, which you always should be. And it may look like this. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have your accounts collapsed here, so you can see your accounts. I'm real picky about certain stuff. When I look down here at my online balance and my ending balance is $23.55. Over here, it says I have $24. But I don't like for my figures to be rounded up. I want to know the exact amount of money that I have. So if you want to see the cents here, all you have to do is right click here, and then you'll come down and you'll click on show cents in amounts. Click there, and there you see $23.55. All right. Down at the bottom, you have your net worth, all the money that you have, excluding, of course, that total will exclude any liabilities and all that good kind of stuff like that, any mortgages and everything like that. So this is how you would get started with the Quicken program to get your account set up and everything. If there are some specific questions you have, some specific concerns you have, please leave a comment. Let me know. Please click on subscribe. I'm here to help you. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. I'm here to make your Quicken life a whole lot easier. I'm here to make it easy. So any questions you have, any concerns you have, you get some error codes, your transactions won't download. Trust me, I pretty much know how to get it fixed. I can make a video. I can email you with a resolution to the issue that you're having. I just want to make sure that you can be a successful Quicken user. A lot of people have used Quicken for years and years and years, and the software make changes. And sometimes we don't like change just that much, but trust me, the software works a whole lot better with the changes that they make. Okay. One last thing I want to show you as well that you need to check for is that sometimes when you first start using your Quicken program, especially if you installed your Quicken from a disk. If you installed your Quicken from a disk, you very well could run into this particular issue, is that you may not can get signed in with your Intuit ID, or it may say you don't have an internet connection. When you're trying to sign in with your Intuit ID or trying to create a brand new Intuit account, you may get these crazy messages, and they will wear you out. And of course, a lot of people panic because they don't know what's happening. They don't know what's going on. I know my password. I changed my password. I know my Intuit ID. I tried to create a new Intuit ID and I'm still getting this crazy error message. It's nothing to worry about. People flip out because they cannot access their Quicken file, or you're trying to install Quicken and you get stuck at the sign-in page. Sometimes customers will say, I couldn't get my Quicken installed. The Quicken program is actually already installed if you get to the point to where it's asking you to create a new Intuit ID, or it's asking you to sign in with your Intuit ID. But there is another simple issue that you can fix on your own instead of calling the Quicken support line, waiting 45 minutes to an hour. This fix is so simple. It's so simple. So what you would need to do at the very top of the screen, if you can't get signed in with your Intuit ID, or if something strange is going on with your program, even before you call your bank or you call Quicken, I strongly suggest that you do this first. You'll click on Help, and then you'll come down and click on About Quicken. A lot of people have a hard time finding About Quicken, but just read down the list, you'll find it. Click on About Quicken. Once you're there, in the previous versions of Quicken, it has a release number. In Quicken 2017, it says version. So if you're not using Quicken 2017, but using 14, 15, or 16, is going to say release number, and you'll have that right here. Say release. They have an aura, then they have that release number. At Quicken 2017, it has version, and of course, the current version for Quicken 2017 is R3. Now, sometimes when you call into the Quicken support line, they ask for the release number or the version number, which will be R3. And some people, they continue on with the numbers in parentheses. They do not need those numbers there unless they ask you for a build number. So only give them the version number. They're only concerned about the version number. They're not concerned about the build number. They're always concerned about the version number. So we're currently on R3 for Quicken 2017. So for example, if I was on R1, my software may begin to malfunction or funny stuff will start happening. The first thing a Quicken support agent is going to ask you to do, they're going to ask you for the release number. If you are not on the correct release, they're going to have you to download that particular patch or download to the latest release for your Quicken program, okay? And then once you do that, your software will operate properly. Now, in Quicken 2017, installing the latest release works just a little differently. I had one client, they said they did not see the help button at the top. They couldn't see any of the menus at the top, so I could not get the release number from them, but I went ahead and had them to download the patch, okay? But if you're in Quicken 2017, to get to the latest release number or update, all you would do in Quicken 2017 is click on Help, and then you click on Check for Updates. Once you check for updates, of course, it says you already have the latest version of Quicken 2017 release R3. What will happen? It will offer you the update. Please proceed with doing the update within the software. If you're using Quicken 2014, 2015 to 2016, you cannot check for updates from the help menu, but you have to go to the Quicken website and download the update. In Quicken 2017, if the update fails, and after the update has failed, you would need to manually download that update. Once it's downloaded, then you have to do what? You can install that update, okay? And the easiest way to find out if there is a new release for Quicken, what you would do, it's just real simple. Go to Google. Once you're here at Google, go to the Google page. Now, you can use any website you would like, but I suggest Google because all the Quicken stuff is most definitely going to come up first, okay? And what I want to type in is Mondo, M-O-N-D-O, at the top. I want to type in Mondo, and I'll type in Quicken, and I'll type in the year version that I have. So if I got 2016, 2016, then I hit enter. And my very first selection will be Quicken 2016 for Windows release notes, updates, and Mondo patch. I will click there. What I suggest, some people may want to do the manual update, but I always suggest using the Mondo patch. So I will come down and I click on how to use the Mondo patch update. Once I am here, I click on download the Mondo patch. Now, one thing I would say is that some people for Quicken 2016, they may have release 8 or release 9. You can look here. It's going to tell you the release that you should be on and when it came out. So for Quicken 2016, the current release is 10, and it came out in October 2016. So if in your software it already says release 10, if you're using Quicken 2016, that's fine. That's okay. Still, go ahead and download the Mondo patch and install it. Regardless, download the Mondo patch and install the Mondo patch. It has fixes for a whole lot of different things, okay? All right, so let's say if I was using Quicken 2014, I'll still type in my Mondo. Just going to take all that out. Mondo, M-O-N-D-O, Quicken, Q-U-I-C-K-E-N, 2014. Once I do that, first selection, Quicken 2014, Windows release notes, updates, and Mondo patch. Let's click there. Then you'll see Quicken 2014 is currently on release 10 as well. So release 10 as well. So, and I want to use the Mondo patch update. Click here, how to use the Mondo patch update. There's a paragraph that you do not have to read, but click on download the Mondo patch. I'm telling you, the Mondo patch works miracles. It works miracles. After you get the Mondo patch on, the issue you're having trying to sign in with your Intuit ID, and you know it's right, and you know the password is right, and all that, this will fix it. Especially if you're getting an error message that says you have no internet connection, or you get a message that says, "Oops, something went wrong." Use the Mondo patch. Now, there's another message you may get that says, something went wrong. If it says, something went wrong, that most definitely means that your password is incorrect or your Intuit ID is incorrect, and the Mondo patch will not work for that, okay? You have to reset that password or make sure you have the correct Intuit ID. And I guess before I go, I'll show you how to find your correct Intuit ID. So let's look at the Mondo patch for Quicken 2015. You got Quicken 2015. I said Mondo, Mondo, Quicken 2015. Don't go directly to the Quicken site and try to find it. Trust me, typing this in through Google, it is the best way to find the Mondo patch. Going to the Quicken website, you'll find it, but it may take a minute to get there, okay? Click there, click enter. Click on Quicken 2015, Windows, Release Notes, Updates, and Mondo patch. Click there. And right here, we see that Quicken 2015 is currently on what? It's on release 12. And it came out on December the 1st, 2016. So I can't get into my software. Something strange is happening. I need to make sure I'm on release 12. And then if you got other issues going on, just download the Mondo patch. It works miracles. Take my word. Let's click there. And then you come down, click on download the Mondo patch. All right. So we'll do that. So even as relates to Intuit IDs or what have you like that, some people run into an issue to where they keep getting the something went wrong. Something went wrong. That means your Intuit ID is incorrect. Means incorrect, or that password is incorrect. So how do I know what Intuit ID do I have in my Quicken program anyway? Because most of the time you'll never see it. But you click on edit, click on preferences, and then come down to the bottom of the list and click on Intuit ID mobile and alerts. So it takes you to this page right here. It gives you the quick Intuit ID, which is the quickenguy@gmail.com. And then it gives you an email address right here as well. All right. So that's right. That's correct. So I need to make sure that that's what's in there, even especially when you're resetting the password. Now, sometimes when you're updating the transactions, it's going to ask you for your Intuit ID and all that good kind of stuff like that. And when you come to this particular page and you click on Intuit ID Mobile Alerts, the first thing that pops up is a password box. Well, I don't know my password. That's fine. That's okay. But all you have to do is just close that little box out, and it's going to come back to this screen here. So when it comes back to this screen, click on Sign In as a different user. Sign as a different user. Type in yes. Then click on Sign Out. And then it's going to take you back to this page. And whatever your Intuit ID is, whatever you think that Intuit ID is, you can fix it right here. You can key in what your current Intuit ID is and the password that match it, or you can do what? Create an account. So let's say my issue is I had the wrong Intuit ID in. I clicked on sign as a different user, typed in yes, it signed me out. Now I'm back here. Let's go here. I guess we can do this. Let's do, all right. Click here. Click on sign in. And now it's going to take me, and I know this is redundant or whatever you like that, but that's okay. But when you sign out, you sign back in, even with a different Intuit ID, or then if you had to create a new Intuit ID, even if you're not using the same email address anymore that's connected with that Intuit ID, go in and get that changed. Just like I showed you. You go back through this step right here. Don't use mobile. Then click on next. Then click on done. And it takes you right on back to your file. So let's review that once again, because a lot of people have issues with that Intuit ID and password. Let's say edit, preferences. Come down, click on the Intuit ID mobile and alerts. And even if you get to this particular point where you can see this, you see the Intuit ID here, and you see the email address right here. Wait a minute. This is wrong. This is not right. This is the wrong information here. This is not my Intuit ID. This email address from 20 years ago. And that's fine. This is an area where you can fix it. Sign in as a different user. Type in yes. Click on sign out. And then you can come back and put the correct information in or create a new account. Either one. Get signed in. Don't use mobile. Then click on next. And you're back in business. You're back in business. Real simple fix. Real simple fix. Well, I hope that this video today was very helpful to you. And I want you to look below and click on the subscribe button. I want to be here to help you. I want to help you get your Quicken issues resolved quickly. I can do a video for you. Email me. I can get some information to you of how to fix certain things. There are some things I can't fix. Now, most things I can. A whole lot of stuff I can. But sometimes when you start getting to script errors and all that kind of stuff like that, you will most definitely need to contact Quicken support. Okay. Well, I'm out of here on today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the Quicken Guide. Please make sure that you click on subscribe. I will be posting videos from time to time, and they will be very helpful to you in getting your Quicken issues resolved. Don't forget, let's click on subscribe below, and please look out for updates and share this with your friends and your families to let them know that the Quicken Guide is here to help you solve all of your Quicken issues. Have a good day, and comment below to let me know what you think about the video.